everybody, and welcome to Follow Up Friday, where I answer viewer questions about anything you want to ask, which has to do with self-improvement, journaling, or just about anything else within reason. So today's question comes from Davy, someone that is a good friend of a lot of us here that are just beginning to watch Self-Help FAQ. So thank you, Davy, for sending in your question. And Davy asks, any advice on the overwhelming feeling when I'm journaling? I tear it up or erase it. Boy, don't I know that feeling. That used to be me. So thanks for sharing this, first of all. And this is more common than you might expect. A lot of people freeze up or they censor when they're writing and journaling because they expect every word to be perfect or meaningful. And there are other reasons too. But what I want to say first is journaling doesn't have to be polished or professional. It's okay to write nonsense, to ramble or contradict yourself. That's part of the process. Just tell yourself, this is just for me, and I'm allowed to write messy, emotionally, imperfectly. And you know there are workarounds depending on your reason. So let me give you a few of those workarounds. So here are a few of the reasons I thought of that may be stopping you from your journaling, which is a very important way to get your thoughts and feelings out, just to purge yourself of things that are weighing heavy on your mind or that you want to work through. Maybe you've got a fear of judgment, even from yourself. Maybe you reread what you wrote and you cringe and you're like, that's not it, I gotta rip it up, I've gotta throw it out. If that's you, then the workaround is write fast and don't reread it. It's what I call stream of consciousness writing. I mean, I didn't make up that term, but it's stream of consciousness writing. You just write really fast, anything that comes to mind. It doesn't have to make sense, and you don't have to edit as you go along. It's not a performance. Number two, maybe you have a fear of being too honest. You're afraid of what might come out if you told the truth. And a workaround for that might be staying a little bit neutral at first. Maybe answer the question, what happened today? Or one thing I noticed. So these are things that you just see and you write down what you saw or heard. And don't write any judgments about it. You just write it down. You can ease into deeper topics later. Next one, maybe you're afraid someone else will read it. That's a big fear of a lot of people. You don't want to be exposed or misunderstood or hurt somebody that you might be talking about. So a workaround, and I do this sometimes, use a password protected document or a notes app, or write it on paper and tear it up just like you're doing. The act of writing is still powerful, even if you don't save it, because your feelings and thoughts need to land somewhere. You can't just keep them inside all the time because it just bubbles up and it will just eat deeper into your psyche. Number four, maybe you're a perfectionist. You want every word to sound wise, poetic, or meaningful. So a workaround for that is just use bullet points. When I was an ESL teacher, there were a lot of students that really didn't like writing, or actually they were never taught. They didn't feel comfortable with it. So I allowed them to use bullet points. As long as they were learning some kind of grammar or vocabulary, I let them use bullet points. They didn't have to write in full sentences either. You can call it a brain dump instead of journaling, so you can get that stigmatism out of your mind. So lower the bar so you can just start, just like I did with my students. Okay, maybe you've got some mental blocks. Maybe you're saying, I don't know what to say. The blank page stares back at you. A lot of authors go through this, staring at blank pages for minutes or hours on end. days on end sometimes. The workaround is use prompts. So those are questions. You could Google prompts. You can find them in journal. You can just get a guided journal like the one I've got that has prompts all throughout the book. That can help you get started. And you could try questions like, how do I feel right now? What's taking up space in my head today? What's bugging me? Those are good ones to get you started. And maybe you're overthinking the process. Maybe you're obsessing about what notebook should I use? What prompt book should I get? What journal should I get? What kind of pen do I want? What format should I write in or use? What's the method? Your workaround for that is it's like, again, like Nike says, just do it. You have to get started. Set yourself a timer and just do that stream of consciousness writing that I talked about before. Set 2 minutes and go. Just write. You know, it can be anything like, I'm writing, I don't know what to say. What should I say? And then that might lead into, I don't like this journaling because, you know, and that just gets you writing. And maybe the because will light up something that is eating at you. So it might get to the truth. Another one, number 7, you might be impatient. You want immediate insight or relief, and you feel let down when it doesn't come out. So you're impatient for something to happen. So your workaround is treat journaling like one of the things you do every day, like brushing your teeth. Small daily maintenance. It doesn't have to be sheets and sheets of paper. It can be one sentence, it can be one word, something like that. But benefits build over time. They're not instant. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's what we say. So let's try the next one. Maybe you've got bad experiences from your past. That's number 8. From teachers maybe that forced you to write. Maybe it was forced, it was boring, it triggered something in your past, so you have a little bit of a fear of it. So the workaround on that is just redefine journaling in your own terms. You can try audio notes, which I'll talk about in a minute. You could even try drawing. You know, maybe you want to get your thoughts out in cartoon form or something. Draw a couple of, if you can't draw a couple of stick figures. One is you and one is another person that you're talking to about your problem. Maybe you could draw an angel and a devil, you know, on the shoulders. The angel wants you to do this thing and the devil wants you to do the other thing, and you guys are fighting over it. That could be journaling too. Just as you do bullet points, you could try list making. It's the same thing instead of long entries. Just try to make it fun and easy for yourself. Some way to get your thoughts out. And now we come to practical reasons you might not want to do it. It feels like a chore. I'm sure it feels like a chore to a lot of people. It reminds you of homework or things you should do. Maybe a lot of people are telling you, oh, you should do this. So it feels like a chore to you. So the workaround could be do the journaling with something that you do that you enjoy each day. Like maybe in the morning when you're having your coffee or your tea, do the journaling then. And you're like, okay, so you look forward to your coffee. This is great. It's time for my coffee. Then make it also time to journal, maybe 1 sentence, 2 sentences, or something you might be looking forward to for the day. Start on a happy note. Put on some music. Make it feel like you time. And then there's another thing. Maybe you feel like you don't have the energy or time for this. You feel drained because it's the end of the day, maybe when you have time, maybe don't have time. Try micro journaling, just like I said. write one sentence per day. Start small. You have no energy. You could even just use one word like a metaphor to do that. That would give you one, I hate to say this, but maybe even when you're in the bathroom, you can try one sentence or one phrase or one word while you're busy doing things in the bathroom. There could be physical barriers. This is number 11. There could be physical barriers. Like maybe you've got arthritis in your hands or they hurt from something you did at work. Or maybe you have visibility or mobility challenges. So the workaround to this is using speech-to-text tools. You can use journaling apps. You could record voice memos, which I'm also going to go into, instead of writing by hand. So this is sort of repeating from before, something audio. And maybe you have some misconceptions about journaling. Like, oh, journaling is not for me. It's only for authors or deep thinkers. You feel like you need to be a philosopher or an artist to journal? That's not true. Journaling is just thinking on paper. You can think. If you can think, you can write on paper or screen. You don't just need insight, you need honesty. Maybe you're afraid to put it out there. Well, this is your chance to do that. And the next one, another misconception is journaling has to be daily. No, in fact, I don't do daily journaling. I only journal when I feel like I need to get something out of me. So if you miss a day, you start to feel like it's a failure and you stop. No. Reframe it as journaling is a tool. It's not a rule. So use it when it helps. You can do it every day, once a week, once a month, or in bursts, just when you feel inspired or feel like you need to get something out. And number 14 I have as you think it has to be saved forever. Nope. You feel pressure to preserve or archive your thoughts. Don't have to do that. You can erase it. Maybe pick out some nuggets. Give yourself, so your workaround is give yourself permission to do it. It can be disposable, just like a brain rinse. Just think of it that way. I've got to get something out of my brain. Good, it's out. Now I feel rinsed. Like that lady in the movie. This house is clear. Remember that one? That's how I think of it. And so I think I've covered all of those. And now one thing, well, first of all, I want to show you what I use when I want to do audio notes, and that's next. So when they're talking about audio, you might have some things on your phone you could do some audio on, but I really like this Olympus mini cassette recorder. It might be old-fashioned, but I really like the idea that I can just take it with me and just record wherever I go and save it to these cassettes. But a lot of you will want to use your phone and do voice memos that way. That's another way to do it. But with the voice memos here, you can erase them if you don't want anybody to hear it. You can lock these tapes away somewhere if you want. And, maybe also through time, you can go through a tape and see how you were feeling maybe a year ago. And even listen to the pain in your voice or the happiness in your voice. I think it's very useful, and it's great to see how far you've come. This is the one that I've been using, the Pearl Recorder 5. It looks like S922 or 5922, I can't tell. Looks like an S maybe, but that's what I like to use. It's been very helpful for me. Okay, that was audio notes. The next thing I want to show you, if you're not familiar with it, is ChatGPT. ChatGPT can be a really good journaling buddy for you because it's private. It acts like another person. You can ask it anything at all. If you don't like what it's saying, you can tell it off and tell it the direction you want to go in. Things like that. You don't have to save anything. So I'm going to show you ChatGPT now and explain Again, I might be repeating myself, but it bears repeating why it's good for you, why I believe in it, and why I like to use it. I don't let it write books for me. I am an author, but I don't let it write books for me because it doesn't have my experiences. It doesn't have my particular knowledge from those experiences. So it actually can't write the books for me, and I would feel that was cheating. So the most I'll let it do is help me. Like if I show it what I've written, it helps me outline sort of where, it helps me figure out where to put things in my book, and maybe it will help me outline some things if I want to talk about the things in my book so that I don't get lost in my notes. Okay, off we go to look at ChatGPT. So if journaling seems too intimidating or overwhelming, you know you can use ChatGPT as a safe, private, and helpful companion. It works because you get to express yourself in real time without judgment. It can offer gentle feedback, you can ask insightful questions, or you can sort of help you sort through your thoughts. You don't have to worry about spelling or grammar or structure. You just type freely. You can erase the entire conversation afterwards or save a copy if you would like. You know, it's not therapy, but it can feel therapeutic. You can be completely honest, and it responds in a caring way. But you're in control of the tone. You can even ask it to be rough on you if you want. I've seen that too. So, but you can ask for encouragement, clarity, or a thought-provoking question, whatever you need. And it's private. Nothing is shared. You can erase it. And so now what I want to do is take you over to, I'm going to start typing into the Ask Anything box that you see there. And let's go through a sample of what you as the viewer might want to do as far as journaling with it. Okay, so here we're on ChatGPT, on my ChatGPT. And usually it will ask you something like, what's on your mind, what's on the agenda, what are you thinking about? So today it says, what's on the agenda today? And so I'm going to tell it that I'm actually on the video trying to help a viewer. And I just want you as the viewer to see what happens if you decide to use ChatGPT as your journal buddy. It can act like a counselor, but it isn't a counselor. It's not a therapist. It's not a counselor. But it can be your buddy, someone to talk to about issues that bother you. And that way it doesn't really feel like journaling. It just feels like you're chatting with a good friend who's never going to tell anything that you say to anyone. It's totally private. It's not going to be shared. And at the end of this, if you want to erase it, you can. Or you can ask it to save some nuggets in a downloadable form that you can then password protect on your computer or phone probably too. So let's go ahead. What I wrote was, hi ChatGPT, I'm acting as one of my viewers on YouTube who tries journaling but then rips it up or erases it. Let's try a sample question they might journal about and give them some tips on the subject and have a conversation with them. Help them journal deeper, but with not so much writing expected. Let's see what it says. So it says, absolutely, let's do it. I'll act as your journaling coach and your viewer's supportive buddy. Let's say the viewer is named Jess, or whoever it is, and here's a sample journaling question they're trying to answer. So it gives a sample journaling question that you could work with, but maybe that's not the question that you want. So I'm gonna refine this a little bit and say that they're not looking for a prompt, but they actually want to come to you, to ChatGPT as a buddy, that they have something specific on their mind. They're not looking for a prompt from ChatGPT, but they're looking to journal about something that's really weighing heavy on their mind. So I'm going to say, this is not what I'm looking for the viewer has something heavy on their mind and they'd like to get it off their chest. Okay. Thank you. That helps. Let's go deeper. I'll take the role of ChatGPT, acting as a journal buddy for one of your viewers who's got something heavy on their chest, but keeps ripping it up or erasing what they write. The tone will be gentle, safe, and encouraging, with very little pressure to write a lot. Here's a sample journaling exchange. So it's telling me to do a role play, and it just repeated exactly what I just read. So it's doing a sample exchange. You got something heavy on your mind, but when you try to journal, you feel like ripping it up or throwing it away. Let's talk you through this. So the viewer would say something like, I don't want to write this. It's too much. I feel stupid writing it down. So ChatGPT would then say, that's okay. You don't have to write everything. Just tell me one thing you're carrying that feels heavy today. No judgment, no perfect grammar needed. So ChatGPT puts the sample here. I feel like I'm letting everyone down, including myself. And ChatGPT says, that's a hard weight to carry. I want you to know you're not alone in feeling that way. Can I ask gently, when did you first start feeling like that? Was it today, or has it been building up? If you're not sure, just say, I don't know. That's allowed. User says, I think it's been building. I'm behind on everything, and I keep making promises I can't keep. ChatGPT says that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes we make promises just to keep the peace or because we want to believe that we can handle it all. That doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human. Let's pause here. Just finish this sentence, one line. What I wish I could tell someone is, you don't have to send it, just try saying it. So it has the sample. User would say, what I wish I could tell someone is, I'm really tired of being strong all the time. So ChatGPT goes on to say that that's brave and it's enough for today. You don't have to fix it all or write 5 pages, just one more thing. Would it help if we took this pain and turned it into a small question for reflection tomorrow? Here's one you can try next time. What would it look like to be gentle with myself right now? Even if it's just taking 3 deep breaths or saying, I'm trying. You're allowed to write messy. You're allowed to stop halfway, and you're allowed to come back later. And then it asks if you want it turned into a printable with stage directions, something like this. I guess it's talking to me right there. But I'm trying to work with the user. So I'm going to say, now I'm the user, and I want to say, I feel like my whole world is collapsing around me. How do I overcome this feeling? Now, I came up with that question because of what I was talking about on Wednesday, about personal independence. And sometimes you can have things happening at work that makes you feel like your world is collapsing around you, or things in a romantic relationship that can make you feel that way. So I thought it might be a good thing to write. And I just want to see what direction ChatGPT goes in for this one. Okay, it says, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to respond as your journaling buddy, talking to you like I would one of the viewers, gently without pushing too hard and helping you express a little at a time. I feel like my whole world is collapsing around me. How do I overcome this feeling? And ChatGPT, as a journaling buddy, says, I hear you. That feeling is so real, and it's okay to say it out loud. You don't have to overcome it all at once. Let's just slow down a bit. Can we take one step together right now? Try finishing just one of these sentences, whichever feels closest to what's inside you. if I could name what feels like it's falling apart, I'd say, or 2, the hardest thing right now is, fill in the blank, or I wish someone would just write one line or whisper it or just think about it. So the hardest thing right now, and then it goes through if someone answered that way. But really what I want is to stop right here, because I think maybe these are some good prompts for you to actually fill out according to how you're feeling, if that helps you. And so I just wanted you to see the kind of thing ChatGPT would try to do to help you. I think it's very helpful. I really like it a lot. And in this way, journaling becomes interactive and it's kind of fun. It might be some sad or hard things that you have to talk about, but it makes you feel like you're not alone. And after you get some good ideas from what it says, you can save some things. It might give you some proverbs. It might give you some things to think about that you might want to save. You can ask ChatGPT to give you just a printout of things to remember from the chat, not the whole chat. And then when you're done, you have that page of useful things to think about that nobody else would be able to read. If you then go in, after you get that printout, you could then go and erase everything, or you could just remember things that you've learned during this exchange and just erase everything, and then you don't have to worry about anybody reading it. As for me, what I would do is, if I'm journaling about sensitive issues, I save them and password protect them in my computer so no one else can get into them. You never know who might be looking at your computer. Or if things are tried to get sent, somehow someone hacks your computer, maybe if it's password protected and they don't know your password, they still wouldn't be able to get into it. So this is what I would do with it. I find it very helpful, and I hope you do too. Okay, that's it for Follow-Up Friday. Thank you very much, Davy, for sending in the question. And I really hope that some of these suggestions are helpful for you to get into journaling. It doesn't have to be writing, can be audio. You can talk with ChatGPT and you can do just one word, a phrase, a sentence, a paragraph, or just get into thinking about some of these prompts. I hope it was helpful, and I hope that you can now enjoy some type of journaling, some way to get your thoughts out so that your mind can be more at ease. That's it for today. Thank you so much, and tune in next time at Self-Help FAQ YouTube channel. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time.